For me, writing is a meditation. Okay. Now, that what turns out, I have no assurance of it. How I use the craft is when I am selling it to someone, to the directors, to the producers, anybody. I am explaining the story. I use the craft in my pitch, not in my writing. It sells the story for them. We have gone to the extent of even documenting how to achieve enlightenment. Imagine that, which is one thing humans cannot control. The simplest definition of enlightenment is, if you are seeking it, you will never get it. As simple as that. But we have put meditations process, yoga processes, everything. Because we are not interested in achieving it. We are just interested in the pursuit.
See, exactly. Since you're talking about the yoga process and the meditation process, very recently when I heard Sadhguru, he says it's okay. Be able to sit for 10 minutes. Let the thoughts come. That 10 minutes of sitting quietly with your eyes closed is meditation. Let the thought. When we talk about it, more and more, I want to know about the art. I don't want to get muddled up in the craft.
Coming to your Sadhguru point, I believe I have also stumbled upon the same video, and I believe we had a discussion or something. If I recall right, Sadhguru said, accept it. Right? Like you accept your body, accept the mind. Why be biased towards the mind? Agree to this point? This is what he might have communicated?
This is what he communicated.
Okay. What does acceptance mean?
Accepting the whole way you
not
are.
Being in conflict.
Yeah, not being. So again, you are contradicting yourself now.
How am I
Because every time, whenever we are talking about the art also, you say a conflicted character will make an interesting character.
Of course, yeah.
And then now you are saying Sadhguru, which you are saying, na, you agree to it. Don't be in conflict.
Sadhguru can be a very popular mystic in the world, okay? But if you have to write a story about Sadhguru, it will be a very boring chapter. You can write a very interesting story about Jaggi Vasudev. Because see, understand this from a point of view. Jaggi Vasudev was a human being with all his spectrum of traits and flaws and emotions. Sadhguru is a bland person because he is constant like a calm pond.
I don't think so.
No, his mind I'm talking about.
Are you talking from the writer's point of view?
No. Look at him. What he does, whether he's riding a bike or something, he's always calm. When he's opposed, when he's humiliated, mocked, he's calm.
But that doesn't make him necessarily bland.
No, that makes, there's nothing more to say to the story, right? It would begin and end in one line.
No, then why can it be? I'd like to argue on that, because even if he is calm, you could find so many aspects to it. Not talking about his calmness, but how he replies to the person who's put him the question.
Why would we want to talk about other people?
Because he is sitting there and his calmness comes even with so many conflicting questions. Okay, I'm sorry. Now even I'm using the word conflict. The questions are conflicting. But he chooses to...
So for the story, a conflict is a must. Whether it is from Sadhguru or from the others.
Okay, I'll never win in that argument. But no, it's not an argument. I also don't want to win for the sake of winning. But yeah, conflict is necessary.
What would you normally say if you were to tell a story about a person who wakes up, does his routine core, goes to bed, and there is no transformation, nothing. Does that same thing 365 days.
No,
In how many words will you put it?
That's boring. See, now one story comes to my mind when my grandmother used to tell me. Many, and I think even you must have heard it, many people have heard it. This is the story about Shravan Bal. And when you're hearing that story as a kid, you never think of that as a conflict. But now if I think of that story, of course it is conflict. People are always saying something or the other to him. And in the end, he decides to discard the donkey also. And he makes, you know how in the villages they have a bamboo with 2 baskets. And he makes the people, he makes his parents sit in that and he carries them in that. Because no matter what he did, on the way people are always telling him. And he is changing his ways because he is conflicted with what the people are saying. So I think, like you said, for an author, if you go to every time listen to people's advices or their comments, then that...
See, here's my point. Any author, and this goes for any job in the world or any occupation in the world, you do it 100 times, will you not get better at it?
Yes.
My point is, let's say it's about driving a car. The first will be a bumpy ride. Second will be a bumpy ride. By the third time, you'll know your thing to do.
But driving a car is not an art, it's a craft.
No. Take anything for that matter, okay? If you have been doing it for, like, say, 5 years straight, will you be better at it than the first day?
Definitely.
Now, the problem with writers, or for that matter, storytellers, any individual today who is pursuing a creative avenue, is that he wants to jump forward in 5 years. He wants her first work to be a masterpiece. Why can't you go through the process? The first one will be a shitty one. So be it. If you are dedicated, if you are following it for the reason that it gives you joy, then you would just love the opportunity if it is given to you 100 times. Why do you want the first one to be so perfect that it should bring you fame, name, there should not be any flaw? This shortcut, this need to skip the learning process is the reason why people lean towards craft. See, I feel a writer should be a person without a character. The moment you start perceiving yourself as a particular successful author, successful writer, successful novelist, you want to maintain that image, self-image. What the others have done has now become your self-image and you want to maintain it. And in that process, you go wrong. If you, every time you get to the blank page, you should treat it like you are meeting your first love. And it's a all new romance altogether again. And
That's
if you enjoy
a very
that,
nice tip.
Your work will eventually have its audience. Now, out of 10, you may have, say 4, Chetan Bhagat may have 8. But so be it. Your 4 audience will know why they have liked you.